Let's roll, nerds.
Okay. You ready? That's it.
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, we're going on the record in the matter of the City of Riverview versus Miriam Sharif, 231048 A, B, and C, 231049, and 231949 A and B and C. Okay, and counsel, your appearance, please.
Your Honor, good afternoon. Richard T. Serrano, P33828. This afternoon, I appear on behalf and with my client, who's presently in custody, as MIDC counsel for arraignment purposes only.
All right, thank you. Ma'am, your name, please, for the record.
Miriam Sharif.
Okay, and today is the date now for arraignment on your current charge, and then you're scheduled for arraignment back in June on your other matters. And counsel, as to the arraignment on all of the matters, or do you want to take those one by one?
Your Honor, the present matters and as well as the other, I believe the other warrants are driving while license suspended. Am I correct? The older ones?
One is driving while license suspended. There's also a driving while license suspended, possession of drug paraphernalia and handicap parking.
Correct. Yes. Yes, we waive formal reading as to all, stand mute. I've explained to all the charges.
All right. The court will waive the formal reading on all of these matters. Enter plea of not guilty on all of these matters. Schedule these matters for pre-trial on August 16th at 9:45 a.m.
Just so the court is aware, Your Honor, I'm not going to be in court that day, but if she qualifies for court-appointed counsel, I'm sure the court will provide her one of the staff
Yes.
counsel.
Yes, thank you. Counsel, as to bond.
Your Honor, I've reviewed my client's significant criminal history over the past years. And Your Honor, she's taken some steps while she's been out of custody. She tells me the longest she's spent incarcerated was about a month in Tuscola County. She tells me she's continually on probation with Tuscola County, but resides in Riverview. She has 2 children, which she shares custody with her ex-husband. She's not employed at this time because she was recently incarcerated. Then she was in an inpatient rehab situation. And when that ended, she's been continuously seeing a therapist once a week, also attending AANA meetings, fan meetings, and these are all voluntary, she tells me, Your Honor. But she's still under the jurisdiction under probation with Tuscola County. She was unaware of the warrants, could not address the warrants because, I'm talking about the warrants here in 27th District, because at that time she tells me she was incarcerated. Other than that, Your Honor, we would hope she lives nearby. She would go back to that home where she lives alone. She's going to start looking for employment. Your Honor, she is a registered nurse. She has been for 8 years, but her license is not renewed. She's trying to do that. And so, Your Honor, we ask for a personal bond or bond she can reasonably expect to post. There are some factors, Your Honor, and she needs to continue her therapy. So we would hope the court would consider that when fashioning a bond. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ma'am? So you're not currently on probation out of Marquette, but you have a conviction on there regarding chemical agents prohibited uses. Would that be similar to one of your charges that you have here today?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't hear you.
Okay, one of your charges
I couldn't hear an
is
answer.
possession of I'm sorry? Okay, can you hear me better, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So you have a conviction on your record, two of them, quite frankly. Well, one is chemical agents prohibited uses. Both of those are. One is what you're currently on probation, one of the charges you're currently on probation for. And the other matter you are on probation, I believe you're also on probation for, out of Marquette. Is that the same type of chemical agent that you're alleged to use in this current case that got you arrested this time?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm on probation in Marquette with Tuscola County. I was incarcerated and then I was in rehab from June 28th to July 18th. And my therapist also sent a letter to the court here in Tuscola and Marquette. And I'm not sure if you guys received it or not, but
nope.
She pretty much let you guys know that I was in rehab during that time.
Ma'am, you were supposed to have been here in court on June 14th, so that doesn't address that.
Well, I was incarcerated May 20th till June 28th in Tuscola County. And from there, I went straight to rehab from June 28th to July 18th.
I understand that, ma'am. You were in custody from, when did you begin your term of custody in Tuscola County?
May 20th.
Why May? Because it shows February 7th, your probation was revoked and you were sentenced to 93 days jail. Why did you not start serving that until May?
Well, that's what the judge ordered, was for me to come back in May and be arraigned. So I went back May 20th and was there till the 28th of June. And then he said that I can go to rehab during my sentence. So June 28th to July 18th, I was in rehab, and I told my therapist to send letters to all the court systems because I don't want any of the courts to think that I'm just blowing them off. And she did. She sent a letter to every county that I had tickets in.
All right, and so you knew that you had in this court, correct?
The only thing I received in the mail was the handicap ticket. That's the only thing I received. So I thought that that's all I had to worry about, because I thought that based off of my therapist sending that letter that you guys probably read it and just charged me for the handicap ticket. So I wasn't aware. I didn't get any letters stating that I have a warrant out for my arrest or anything.
Okay, ma'am, if you're not aware of something, how would you find out the information?
Give you guys a call, but I didn't have my phone on because I didn't have any money. I literally came out with $0.
I don't believe you.
What does that have to do with making a phone call?
Okay, and why?
Well, I don't have a phone to call you. Like I wasn't activated at the time.
You couldn't have contacted us through, while you were in treatment, through email or phone?
Well, the therapist did contact you guys. She said
I
that
asked about you. No, I asked about you specifically.
I can't. No, when you're in rehab, they don't let you use any computers or your phones or anything. They take all of that from you at Sacred Heart. And that's why I told my therapist to reach out to you guys, because I wasn't allowed to do that.
Ma'am, it doesn't appear as though you're getting it. I can tell you that. You have two charges for possession or improper use of chemical agents that you're on probation for, and you're charged with it with the same offense right now. I don't know when you're going to get it together. When's the last time you saw your children?
Sunday.
Sunday. The same day as this offense. And when did you last see them?
Well, they went home before all that happened. So I see them every Sunday for 7 hours.
Is it supervised or unsupervised?
No, it's unsupervised.
When did you last have custody of your children, ma'am?
You mean, when did I see them, or our custody agreement?
What does your custody order say, ma'am?
Right now, currently, that I see my kids 7 hours on Sunday, once a week. And that changed it back in March of last year. And that I see a therapist. So I've been seeing my therapist once a week. I'm only supposed to see him once a month, but I see him once a week because I need it.
You really think I give a shit?
Because of everything that's going on with my life currently. And also with Tuscola County, I was dropping twice a week. And there was nothing in my system. Twice a week I would drop at Chance for Change up there in Caro. And then I started dropping at Access. And I also see a domestic violence therapist in Access too.
Ma'am, did your probation get transferred down here to Wayne County?
No.
And so you have permission to relocate to Riverview?
Not that I know of, not that I'm aware of.
Why did you relocate to Riverview? How long have you been in Riverview, ma'am?
I literally just moved in May. I was living in Dearborn, but my house burned down last year. And yeah, so I moved here to Riverview.
How long did you live in Dearborn, ma'am?
I lived there for all my life, pretty much.
Well, why do we have you in an address in Alger, Michigan?
In Alger, that's when I was with my ex-fiance. That was a very short period of time that I stayed there with him. It was between when my house burned down and then when I found this apartment. We're not doing too well, and I left him because it was an abusive relationship.
And so is that the father of your children?
No, he was abusive too, but that's my fiance, my ex-fiance.
And how long, you said a short while, how long was a short while?
You know, like 6 to 8 months.
Well, that's a significant amount of time. All right, ma'am, and your probation in Marquette County, was that transferred down to Tuscola County or Wayne County?
No, I talked to her on the phone. Every month I check in, and she gets my letters from the therapist and whatnot. So I'm almost done with that probation. I only have like a couple more months. At Tuscola, I'm either supposed to finish off my probation or finish the jail time that he gave me, or he was gonna waive it. And that court date was on Monday, which I couldn't go because I was here.
Okay, well, ma'am, You have a history of failing to appear and contacting the court. It's alleged that you, have continued to violate the law with the same type of offenses. And so for those reasons, the court's going to indicate that's a 231049, a $5,000 10% bond. No, you don't have a valid license, correct, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you have a valid license, or yes, that's correct?
I do not. I don't, it's suspended and I haven't been able to pay, because they said I can reinstate it now. And I don't have the amount to pay to get it reinstated currently.
Okay. All right, $5,000 10% bond, no driving, not possessing, consuming alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. If you were to test today, ma'am, what would be detected in your system?
Marijuana.
Do you have a valid prescription?
Not currently.
Are you permitted to use marijuana probation?
Well, for Marquette, they don't make me drop or anything, so.
No, ma'am,
They know.
ma'am, it's yes or no. Are you
I'm not sure.
Well, don't you know the terms of probation?
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts?
Ma'am, do you not know the terms of your probation?
I mean, like I said, I've been on probation with them and Tuscola, so every county is different.
I understand that. And so, ma'am, because you're probation on multiple counties, it is your responsibility to know what your responsibilities are in each of those counties' probation. That's also one of the reasons why this court's indicating cash bonds and not personal bonds. The court's going to indicate 231048 A, B, and C, $5,000 or 10% bond, no driving, not possessing, consuming alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. The court's going to indicate on 231949 A, B, and C. The court's going to indicate a $7,500 10% bond. You're not to possess, consuming alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. I'm also going to indicate not to possess any chemical agents. Is that clear, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think it is. Those are some of the terms of your probation, and yet you're caught with the same type of chemical agent that you're currently on probation for.
Your Honor, and that's why she's recognized her problem, that she's enrolled herself in things that are not court ordered. So that, we're not saying it's an excuse, we're saying that she's made some progress from the time she was released.
All right, ma'am, you cannot use any alcohol, you cannot use any drugs. That includes marijuana, unless it's prescribed. I want to be very clear on that. Do you understand what the conditions are here for bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also are not to possess or consume any chemical agent. So if you have hairspray and it's aerosol, too bad, you can't have possession of it. Anything. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So we will see you back on August 16th.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. You as well.